Ron Young in the 71 managed to turn it around in turn number 2, but we are staying green as he made no contact with any car or wall. As
he did the same thing early in the race, and they never threw a caution.
The guy's getting pretty good at spinning and keeping it going, because NASCAR's watching. He just loops that baby around and keeps on going straight, and no caution because of it.
Yeah, the one guy who wanted it was David Ruderman. He's one lap down and wants to get back on the lead lap. Let's talk about race 7 and the chase for the Cup. It's tomorrow. Jimmy Johnson looking to go for a second straight victory. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series continues on ABC at 1 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. All right, let's get up to speed, nationwide up to speed with fuel as the major subject. And Vince, you're up first.
Well, Carl Edwards, the race leader, came in on lap 127, and he took on fuel. That's the big question now. Does he have enough Sunoco Racing fuel to get to the end? Drew Blickensderfer told him just a moment ago, you're about 2 laps short. He came back a few laps later and said, no, I think we're right on. In 20 laps, I'll tell you whether we have to start saving. It's very close. Mike?
Vince, just like Carl Edwards, Joey Logano also stopped on lap 127. His crew chief, Doug Hewitt, thinks that they are about 10 laps shy. At least that's what they thought the last time they came down pit road. What they're hoping, though, is that there are a number of caution flag laps here that may enable them to get to the finish, maybe a little bit closer than 10 because they've had some cautions, but they are short. Shannon?
Mike, 10 laps is the number for Kenny Wallace in that 28, but he is 10 laps to the good. This team came on pit road lap 151. They took on fuel, 4 tires, and they are good to go to the end.
So very interesting, guys. I mean, Edwards and Logano both pitted on lap 127, but we got 2 different versions of who thinks they can do what.
Well, it's all about horsepower, and the more horsepower you have, the more fuel you use. And the way Carl's running, you know, he can start backing it down. He can start saving now. He's got himself about a half straightaway lead.
You know, a lot of times during the Cup races and nationwide races, we talk about fuel mileage. When we got ready to start this race on what to watch for, I knew one thing. Fuel mileage was something we didn't need to look at, but it looks like we might have to look at it now.
Well, and remember, Chase Miller pitted on lap 152. Austin Dillon pitted on lap 153. That's your top 5 complete. So the last 3 have the best fuel advantage over the top 2. Whoa, a lot of tire smoke going down into 3, but no harm as we're riding on board with Kenny Wallace. You want to talk about winless streaks? Take a look. Kenny Wallace has gone 172 starts. It was back in Rockingham 2001. And right now, he may be in the catbird seat, depending on what happens with fuel, on the top 2, and if we stay green.
Back at the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Memphis Motorsports Park, lap 213 of 250, and Carl Edwards, the race leader, has just come in for his final stop. And now Joey Logano, who's running second, is in as well. The last stop for Edwards, they put on the best set of tires. He's been the man to beat all day.
Our 5th caution, Ron Young, turned it around again in corner number 2. That's become a bit of a habit in the last few laps. There's Kenny Wallace. He also pitted, as did Joey Logano.
Yeah, so Austin Dillon comes down pit road too. So Austin's
Miller.
back in a sequence right now. You know, he had to start at the longest line before, so he couldn't get himself to the front. Now he's in good shape.
And David Ruderman is the man who's happiest about this, as he gets the Aaron's lucky dog, and he will come around and be our 6th and final car on the lead lap. So we'll reset it for you as soon as we get back from the commercial break. But there's a big smile on his face underneath that helmet, I guarantee you. Back here at Memphis Motorsports Park, it's been a Carl Edwards kind of day. The first pit stop set the tone on lap 29, and then he came back from 20th and just sliced and diced his way to the lead. Then he puts points leader Clint Boyer a lap down, saying, see ya, pal. And right now, as we're getting ready for the restart, it will be Edwards first, Logano second, Kenny Wallace third, Chase Miller fourth, Austin Dillon fifth, and David Ruderman, the 6th and final car, on the lead lap as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Memphis Motorsports Park.
You see a little smoke off that 6th car on the inside. He's been trailing just a little bit of smoke all day. We can't find out what it is until it runs out of oil.
Just to let you know, there are no cars now 1 lap down. It is Mike Bliss in 7th, 2 laps down.
Mike Bliss is going to be working hard to get one of them back right here.
That's right. Got him 3 wide coming out of 4. You can see it there in your screen. take a look. There's David Stremme and the 66 of Stephen Wallace. They are 13th and 14th respectively, and they too are in a gaggle at 2 laps down. There's your points leader, Clint Boyer.
Boyer's trying to get all the kiddies. Again, this car is just not handling for him. It's running real tight. Turns the wheel to the left and the thing goes straight. That's called pushing, and that's been his big problem all day long.
The worst thing is he only got one spot that's 3 laps down, so you really can't gain any more positions.
You see David Stremme down there underneath Scott Legacy trying to get underneath of him. These guys are 2 laps down back there trying to get all the positions they can. And there goes Boyer around Kenny Wallace.
Now remember, Kenny is running 3rd right now. Let's get an update from Shannon Spade.
Kenny Wallace on that last pit stop came down. They took 4 scuffed tires on this pit stop. He told his guys, make sure all the lug nuts are tight. He also got a can of Sunoco fuel.
Well, the only thing with Kenny's team, you wonder if the scuffs are like 100-lap scuffs.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I was concerned about. When I saw him hit pit road, I saw him put used tires on that 28 car. And, man, that's got to make you sick. As run as good as you are, the team's a little bit underfinanced, and they put old tires on them, so bad deal.
Well, to give you an idea, his last lap, 21.4 seconds. The race leader, 23.5. 0.6 of a second a lap. You can't afford to do it. Well, I'll tell you what, while we ride on board with our Carfax telemetry, you get an idea of the speed, but we're keeping an eye up front. There's an interesting development as we see Carl Edwards. Right behind him is the number 1 of Mike Bliss. Now remember, Bliss is 2 laps down, but if he can somehow get ahead of Carl, and then a yellow would come out.
He'll still be a lucky dog. But
He'd still be a lucky dog.
But he'll only be 1 lap down.
It'd be
That's right.
Big transition. Take a look at Joey Logano as he's got his hands full with David Reagan right now. Mike, what's going on?
Well, Marty, before the pit stop, Joey Logano radioed in and said the car was getting a little bit tight. Now, you remember at the beginning of the race, he was loose. That's really the way he likes it. He wants a real free race car. So they tried to free him up with a wedge adjustment. They took a round out on the left side. They also made an air pressure adjustment, and like the 28 car, they put scuffs on that last stop. And, well, so far it doesn't look like the cars really responded the way they anticipated. Really not catching up with the 60 at all right now.